Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I'm Johanna, and I'm here. We're going to do a 30 minutes basics class. Again, we're going to be working on lengthening our side bodies, doing some hamstring opening, and a little bit of hip openers too, and just get our bodies moving this morning. So start in a comfortable seat. You can either sit up onto a block or a blanket, and bring your palms to your thighs, and close your eyes. Just take a moment here to center in with your breath and to check in with your body. Notice where you're feeling tight. Notice where you feel tension. And as you move today, see if you can start to bring space and opening into those areas. Connect with your breath. Allow your chest and your stomach to rise and fall with each inhale and with each exhale. Just know whatever you're feeling right now in the moment is okay. And also know that this is a great way to work out our emotions, our boredom, our stress, just anything that you're feeling. So give yourself space to feel the feelings and to work it all out, and know that I am holding space for you on my end. Wherever you are in your breath, exhale completely. And inhale deeply through your nose and hold it at the top. And exhale through your mouth. Inhale deeply through your nose and hold it at the top. And exhale through your mouth. Then inhale deeply through your nose and hold it at the top. Then exhale through your mouth. And slowly blink your eyes open. You're going to bring your legs straight out in front of you. Move any flesh away from your sits bones. You can either sit up onto a block or a blanket if you notice your low back is rounding back like that. And then you're going to cross your right ankle over your left and come into Sukhasana, or easy seated pose. Walk your left hand out 6 inches to the side, and as you inhale, stretch your right arm up overhead. Press your feet into the floor, squeeze your heels towards your hips, allow your hips to be heavy. You'll start to sink in your chest, so lift your chest, pressing into your left hand. And from your right armpit, stretch up through your right fingertips. Lift your chin. And then inhale, come back up through center. Walk your right hand out to the right 6 inches. Inhale, stretch your left arm up overhead. Keep pressing your feet into the floor. Energetically squeeze your heels towards your hips. And press into your right hand to help you lift your chest. From your left armpit, stretch up through your left fingertips, lift your chin. Then inhale, come back up through center. Bring your legs straight out in front of you. Move any flesh away from your sits bones. Then cross your left ankle over your right. And you're going to pull your feet back into Sukhasana again. This time, press your left hand down and back behind you. Stretch your right arm up vertical to the floor. And as you exhale, twist to your left, bringing your right hand outside your left knee. Now don't crank your back, it's just a gentle twist. So inhale, stretch up out of your waist. And as you exhale, just gently twist to the left. And either look straight ahead or look over your left shoulder. Keep pressing into your left hand. Squeeze your heels towards your hips. Lift up out of your waist. Then as you exhale, slowly untwist. Bring your right hand down and back behind you. Stretch your left arm vertical to the floor. And as you exhale, twist to your right. And bring your left hand outside your right knee. Press into your right hand to stretch up out of your waist. And as you exhale, tone and twist to your right. Just a gentle twist, so don't crank your back. And move your right shoulder up and back. Then as you exhale, slowly untwist. You're going to roll over your shins. and come into a tabletop position. So tabletop position will be wrist under your shoulders, hands slightly wider, knees under your hips, hip width apart. On your next exhale, cat pose. Bring your chin towards your chest. Press down into your feet, hands and shins evenly. Then inhale, cow pose. Lift up through your chest. Pull your shoulder blades onto your back. Press your seat up towards the ceiling. Then exhale, cat pose. Bring your chin towards your chest. Claw the floor with your fingertips. Press down into your feet. Pull your belly button to your spine. Then inhale, cow pose. Lift up through your chest. Pull your shoulder blades onto your back. Tone your low belly. Lift your chin. Then on your next exhale, cat pose. Bring your chin towards your chest. Press your hands down and away. Tone your low belly, round in your upper back. Then inhale, cow pose. Lift up through your chest. Tone your low belly. Press your seat up towards the ceiling. Then come into a neutral spine. On your next inhale, stretch your right arm up and out to the side. And as you exhale, thread your right arm underneath your torso, bringing your right shoulder, temple, and cheek to the floor or to a block or pillow if the floor feels far. Now come up onto your left fingertips like Thing from Adam's Family. You can even crawl them towards the left corner of your mat. Press your left hand down and forward to plug that left shoulder back, and press into your right arm and move that right hip forward so that way you're twisting from your spine, not from your hips and your shoulders. Relax your breath. And then on your exhale, start to slowly untwist. Lift your right arm up and out to the side and lower your right hand down to the mat. Then inhale, lift your left arm up and out to the side. And as you exhale, thread your left arm underneath your torso, bringing your left shoulder, temple, and cheek to or towards the floor. And then come up onto your right fingertips like Thing from Adam's Family. Press your right hand down and forward. Press into your left arm. That stabilizes your shoulders. Press through your feet and shins evenly. And as you exhale, tone and twist from your bottom left ribs open. Soften your breath. Relax your gaze. And on your exhale, start to slowly untwist. Bring your left arm up and out to the side. Lower your left hand down to the mat. And tuck your toes under, including your pinky toe if you can. Bring your hips back to your heels. Walk your hands forward and bring your forehead to the floor or to a block or a pillow if the floor feels far. And again, make sure your hands are slightly wider than your shoulders. Spread your fingers wide and even. Press down into your index knuckle and squeeze your ring finger and thumb towards each other. Now from your shoulders, press down into your hands. Press your hips down and back. That's going to help to lengthen your spine and your side body. Then come up onto your fingertips like Thing from Adam's Family again. Feel that engagement that's in your upper back. When you're in down dog, this is the engagement you want to feel. Try to keep that engagement, lowering your palms to the floor. You can stay here. Puppy pose is a great alternative to down dog. Or inhale into a long tabletop position, and exhale, down dog. You can pedal your feet back and forth. Just bring some movements into your body. Make sure your hands are slightly wider than your shoulders, so line up the middle of your wrist with your outer shoulder. Glue your index knuckle into the mat. Squeeze your ring finger and thumb towards each other. And then lift your forearms up, upper arms up, armpits up away from the floor. Squeeze your biceps in toward your ears. Then stretch your hips up and away from your shoulders. Start to root down through your heels. You can keep a micro bend in your knees. and press your thighs towards the room behind you. Then on your next exhale, bend your knees 2 inches, look in between your hands, and step, hop, or walk to the front of your mat, coming into a forward fold. And you can bend your knees as much as you need to get all 10 fingertips to the floor, or you can use blocks. You can have your feet outer hip width apart, or feet together. And on your inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Then as you press down into your feet, keep a micro bend to your knees. Bring your hands to your hips, squeeze your shoulder blades in. Inhale, bring your torso upright. Stretch your arms up overhead, lengthen up out of your waist. Then exhale, mountain pose. Now either have your feet together or feet hip width apart. And then on your next inhale, bring your arms out parallel to the floor. Interlace your fingers, press your palms forward. Now let your inner shoulders come up, plug your shoulders onto your back. Then as you inhale, stretch your biceps up and back. Wrists might be over your shoulders. That's okay if they're not. It's early in class and you just might be tight. That's just your body's limitations, and that's okay. Root down into your feet. Stretch up through your knuckles. Engage your glutes. Now tone your low belly. Press your ribs down and back. Lift your chest, lift your chin. Check in with your breath. Then as you exhale, slowly release, mountain pose. And bring your hands to your hips. Press your hands down into your hips. Let your shoulders come up, then plug your shoulders back. Press into your right hand, stretch your left arm vertical, lengthen up out of your waist. Then as you exhale, tip your torso to the right. Now keep rooting into your feet. Tone and turn your inner thighs back. Squeeze your ankles, knees, inner thighs in towards each other. Then press your tailbone down. Now keep your hips where they are. Move your right shoulder forward slightly, so use your spine, not your shoulders. And from your left armpit, stretch up through your left fingertips. Lift your chin. Smooth out your breath. Inhale, come back up through center. Bring your left hand to your hip. Let your inner shoulders come up. Plug your shoulders back. Inhale, stretch your right arm up overhead. Lengthen up out of your waist. Then as you exhale, tip your torso to the left. Keep rooting into your feet. Squeeze your ankles, knees, inner thighs in. Tone and turn your inner thighs back. Now engage your glutes, pressing your tailbone forward. Pull your belly button toward your spine. From your right armpit, stretch up through your right fingertips. Lift your chin. Make sure you're breathing. Inhale, come back up through center. Exhale, mountain pose. And bring your hands to your hips. Bring all of your weight onto your left leg. Tone your thigh, lift your kneecap, root down through all 4 corners of your feet. So press down through the inner edge of your foot as much as you're pressing down through the outer edge. Then bring your right foot either to your ankle, to your calf, or reach down inside your leg and bring it to the root of your left inner thigh. Then bring your hands together at heart center. Now from your left hip, press down into that standing leg. Tone your thigh, lift your kneecap. Glue your right foot and your leg into each other. And from your inner right thigh, press your right knee out and away. From your outer right knee, pull up and in. Now you can stay here or start to grow your tree. Squeeze your shoulder blades onto your back. Press your tailbone down. Now keep your low belly tone. Lift your chest, lift your chin. Then exhale, hands to heart center. Lower your foot to the floor, mountain pose. Then bring your hands to your hips. Bring all of your weight onto your right leg. Tone your thigh, lift your kneecap. Now bring your right foot left foot either to your ankle, to your calf, Or reach down inside your leg and bring it to the root of your right inner thigh. And bring your hands together at heart center. Now from your right hip, drive into the floor. Tone your thigh, lift your kneecap. Glue your foot and leg into each other. From your inner left groin, press your left knee down and away. From your outer left knee, you're going to pull up and in. Now press your tailbone forward. Keep your low belly tone. Stay here or grow your tree. And if you fall out, just laugh and hop right back in. It's just yoga. Some days we're falling or swaying trees. Bring your hands to heart center. Lower your foot to the floor. Mountain pose. Then come to mountain at the front of your mat. If you have blocks, you can bring them with you. Inhale, stretch your arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Lead with your heart. Fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Step your left foot back into a lunge. Now wiggle that back foot back a few more inches. Lower your back knee down. You can always bring a blanket or cushion under that knee. And come on to your fingertips. Now keep your low belly tone. Lift your chest. Lift your chin. You can stay here. Inhale, bring your hands to your hips. Now clamp your front heel, back knee towards each other. That'll move that left hip forward, right hip back. Press your tailbone down. Tone your low belly as you lift your chest. You can stay here. Start to stretch your arms up overhead. Then as you exhale, you can move your hips down and forward, but keep squeezing those knees in towards each other. Lift your chest. Keep your chin parallel to the floor. Then as you exhale, bring your hands down to the mat. You're going to walk your left hand up and out 6 inches under your shoulder. Bring your right hand to your thigh. Now before you twist, first squeeze your knees in. That's going to keep your hips square. Then use your spine, not your hips, to tone and twist from your bottom left ribs open. So don't let that left hip drop. And you can stay here or float your right arm vertical to the floor. Keep squeezing in. Engage your left glutes. Press your tailbone forward. Squeeze your shoulder blades in. Lengthen your head away from your hips. Smooth out your breath. Then exhale. Bring your hands down to the mat. Lift your back knee up. Step your left foot forward. And step your right foot back. Wiggle that back foot back a few more inches. Lower your back knee down. Then come up onto your fingertips. Now squeeze your knees in. Engage your right glutes. You can stay here. You're in a good spot here. Or inhale. Bring your torso upright, hands to your hips. Now keep squeezing your knees in towards each other. Move that right hip forward. Press your tailbone forward. Keep your low belly tone. Now you can stay here. Or inhale. Stretch your arms up overhead. Then as you exhale, you can start to move your hips down and forward. Lift your chest. Lift your chin. Check in with your breath. Then as you exhale, bring your hands down to the mat. Walk your right hand up and out 6 inches under your shoulder. Bring your left hand to your thigh. Now first, squeeze your knees in. Engage those right glutes. Then as you exhale, don't let that right hip drop as you start to tone and twist from your bottom right ribs open. You can stay here or stretch your left arm vertical to the floor. Keep squeezing your shoulder blades in. Squeeze your front heel, back knee together. Tone your low belly. Check in with your breath. Make sure you're breathing. Then exhale. Bring your hands down to the mat and step back into plank pose or a modified plank. Look 4 to 6 inches in front of you to keep your head in line with your shoulders. Then as you exhale, lower down. Bring the tops of your feet to the floor, feet hip width apart. Now press into your feet so much your knees lift up. Bring your wrist under your elbows. Squeeze your shoulder blades in. Inhale, cobra pose. And exhale, down dog or puppy pose. And on your next inhale, lift your left leg up behind you. And as you exhale, bring your left knee forward and behind your left wrist, slightly wider than your hips. And if you're like me and my body are not friends with pigeon pose, which is totally okay, you can roll onto your left hip and keep your front shin at a 90-degree angle and your back shin at a 90-degree angle. You'll get the same stretch without all that pressure on your hip. Now make sure your back leg's parallel to the long edge of your mat, big toe pointing straight back. Squeeze your knees in. You can stay right here or come down onto your forearms. You can also bring your forearms onto a block if the floor feels far. Now press into your feet, including that front shin. Squeeze your knees in. Engage your right glutes. Press your tailbone forward. And slowly walk your hands back. Tuck your back toes under. And step back, down dog. And on your next inhale, lift your right leg up behind you. On your exhale, bring your right knee forward and behind your right wrist, slightly wider than your hip. Look back at your back leg, make sure it's parallel to the long edge of your mat. Big toes point straight back. Remember, you can always take the alternative to pigeon by rolling on to your outer hip and kind of doing what I call a 90-90. Now press into your feet, squeeze your knees in, engage your left glutes, stay here, or come down onto your forearms, or bring your forearms onto a block if the floor feels far. Now it's super easy to collapse into pigeon, but don't. Press into your left foot, press into your right shin, squeeze them towards each other. Press your tailbone down. Press your forearms down and forward. Relax in your upper back. I have a big tendency to tense in my shoulders and upper back in pigeon. Soften your jaw. Relax your gaze. And on your exhale, slowly walk your torso upright. You're going to roll onto your right hip. Swing that left leg forward, bringing your feet straight out in front of you. Now move any flesh away from your sits bones. You can always sit up onto a blanket to support your low back, or a towel, whatever you have. And bring your hands alongside your hips. Flex your feet, flare your toes. And bring your right ankle outside your left knee. Keep your left leg straight. Press your right hand down and back behind you. Now inhale, stretch your left arm vertical to the floor. And as you exhale, bring your left elbow outside your right knee, or you can wrap your elbow around your knee. Do whatever feels best for your body. Keep your left foot flexed. Press your left thigh towards the floor. Press your right hand down and back to help you stretch up out of your waist. Then as you exhale, tone and twist gently. Don't crank your back as you look forward, or you can look over your right shoulder. And exhale, slowly untwist. Bring your right leg straight out in front of you. Move any flesh away from your sits bones. Flex your feet, flare your toes. Bring your left ankle outside your right knee. Press your left hand down and back. Stretch your right arm vertical. As you exhale, tone and twist. And either wrap your arm around your knee, or you can bring your elbow outside your knee. Whatever feels best for you this morning. Keep your right foot flexed, flare your toes, press your right thigh down towards the floor. Press into your left hand, stretch up out of your waist, and as you exhale, tone and twist, either looking straight ahead or over your left shoulder. And then exhale, slowly untwist, and bring the soles of your feet together. Now move your inner thighs down and back. That's going to help you move flush from your sits bones. Now, if this is too much on your knees to go in wide, you can bring your feet out away from your pelvis a little bit. Or you can bring your feet back, press your hands down and back to lengthen up out of your waist. Keep your low back moving up and in. You can stay here, or bring your ankle or your hands to your ankles, or grab onto your big toes. Now, if your low back rounds, keep moving your low back up and in. You may need to keep pressing your hands down and back. Now press your feet together from your inner groins. Press your knees down and away. From your outer knees, pull up and into your hips. Now if your knees are either in line with your hips or below your hips, you can fold forward. If they're above your hips like this, keep your torso upright. So you can stay here, stretch up out of your waist. And as you exhale, hinge at your hips, lead with your heart, fold forward. Your shoulders are going to want to come toward your ears. You can keep your elbows to your thighs, moving your shoulders back. Or you can even bring your forearms down to the floor. Soften your jaw. Keep your hips heavy onto the floor. And inhale, slowly come up. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Move any flesh away from your sits bones. Flex your feet back, flare your toes. Bend your knees slightly. Inhale, stretch your arms up overhead. And as you exhale, hinge at your hips, lead with your heart, and grab onto the outer edges of your feet. And you can keep your knees bent, torso to your thighs. Or you can start to walk your heels and hips forward and back. Do whatever feels best for your body. Don't force anything. So you can grab onto your shins, ankles, feet. You can even bring your hands to the floor. And breathe here. Then inhale, slowly bring your torso upright. Lie down onto your back, bringing your feet to the floor. Bring your arms out to the side, elbows in line with your shoulders. You can either come into a T position or do little cactus arms. And then just gently rock your knees side to side. Release your low back. And you can stay doing that, or happy baby pose, bending your knees in towards your chest, reaching inside your legs, grabbing the outer edges of your feet, or if your feet aren't there, you can grab onto your ankles. And just gently rock side to side, massaging your low back. Then bend your knees in towards your chest. Grab onto your shins or wrap your forearms around your shins. Give yourself a big full squeeze in. And then when you're ready, open up into your Shavasana. So you can keep your knees bent, feet to the floor, letting your knees knock in. You can roll over and lie down onto your stomach if that feels more grounding. Or just lie onto your back with your legs straight. And close your eyes. And if you need to get up and leave and go about with what you're doing, that's fine. If you'd like to stay for an extra few minutes, I'll signal you when Shavasana is done. Relax your toes. Relax your feet. Relax your ankles. Relax your fingers. Relax your hands. Relax your wrists. Soften your shoulders. Soften your jaw. Remove the tongue away from the roof of your mouth. And let your eyes and your brain be heavy. Allow your body to soak up your practice, to receive your practice. Start to slowly and gently deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers, your toes, bringing gentle movements back to your body. Gently rock your head side to side. And on your next inhale, stretch your arms up overhead, stretch your legs out straight. Give yourself a big full body stretch. You can flex your feet, point your toes. And one at a time, bend your knees. Bring the soles of your feet to the floor. And roll on to whatever side of your body feels most comfortable for you this morning. Keeping your eyes and your hips heavy, roll forward slightly and use your top hand to press you up into a comfortable seat, facing forward. You can bring your palms to your thighs or your hands to heart center and close your eyes or gaze lightly towards the floor. And just take a moment here to honor your body, all the ways that your body supports you. Take a moment to see and recognize your effort. Remember that your effort never goes wasted and no gain is ever lost. Honoring yourself, honoring each other, honoring this practice and all those that paved the way before us. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you know peace. May you know love. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your Monday. And if you need anything, just know that we're all here to support you. Peace.